In this video, we will reveal the reason the Glazers refused to sell Man United to Sheikh Jassim. Sheikh Jassim bin Hamad Al Thani never proved he had sufficient proof he could find his bid to buy Manchester United, according to documents submitted to American authorities. As we continue, folks, subscribe to our channel and leave a comment, as we bring you the latest news and updates in sports. United and Sir Jim Ratcliffe announced on Christmas Eve he had agreed a £1.3 billion deal to acquire a minority stake in the club after 13 months of negotiations. And according to a new filing on the US Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, released on Wednesday evening, Sheikh Jassim repeatedly failed to provide the source of his funding. The complicated and dragged-out nature of United's sale process is charted in the SEC filings, and reveal the Glazers also offered him the chance to purchase United in May last year for $5.76 billion, for £0.55 billion. From the moment the Glazers family announced they would listen to offers for the club as part of a strategic review process back in November 2022, the Qatari consortium and Ineos boss Ratcliffe emerged as the two frontrunners to take over at Old Trafford. Sheikh Jassim tabled 5 separate bids for the full control of the club, but withdrew the offer in October after growing increasingly frustrated with the process. His last offer of £5.5 billion fell short of the £6 billion the Americans are thought to want, and opened the door for Ratcliffe to complete a deal for a 29% stake in the club subject to regulatory approval next month. Unlike Ratcliffe's deal to purchase a minority stake, Sheikh Jassim's bid was for 100% of the club and would see the Qatari consortium buy out the Glazers and all other shareholders. Sheikh Jassim also pledged to invest around £1 billion on either redeveloping Old Trafford or building a new stadium, along with transforming United's training facility. The proposal raised questions over whether Sheikh Jassim, the chairman of the Qatar Islamic Bank, would have the required funding to finance the deal. Sources close to him have always maintained his proposed deal was being funded in a personal capacity, and dismissed the rumours he was a frontman for a bid funded by the Qatari state, whose sovereign wealth fund controls an estimated £370 billion worth of assets. And according to the SEC filings, the prospect of Sheikh Jassim, who is referred to as a bidderer, taking control of United never looked likely. As part of the Schedule 14D9 filing, which articulates a business's response to a takeover offer, United said bidder A failed repeatedly to submit the customary financing commitment letters. By February 17 last year, the deadline for an initial indication of interest, Sheikh Jassim submitted a deal worth $25 per share that valued United at $4.1 billion, £3.2 billion. The SEC filing states the proposal did not include customary financing commitment letters. The following month, United informal Sheikh Jassim at a new improved bid worth $28 per share did not provide the shareholders with sufficient value. By late April last year, the Qatari consortium increased their offer to $28.54 per share. On May 16, Sheikh Jassim submitted a new bid worth $30.01 per share, which valued United at $4.9 billion, £3.9 billion, excluding the club's existing debt. SEC filings shows bidder A again failed to provide evidence of the funding, before the Glazers presented a counter-offer of their own 6 days later. United's American owners indicated they would consider a price of $35.25 per ordinary share, which would have valued the club at $5.7 billion, for £0.5 billion. On May 25, the club noted it would require bidder A to provide sufficient evidence of its sources of financing that would be required to consummate such a transaction. The Qatari consortium made a new offer on June 1, tabling his bid directly to the Glazers and Rain Group, which were appointed as exclusive financial advisors to oversee the process along with Rothschild and Company. The bid valued Class A shares at $24.81 to $5.20 less than the bid submitted 2 weeks earlier, and Class B share at $34. Class B shares hold 10 times the voting rights of the Class A shares. Again, this revised offer did not provide customary financing commitment letters, the SEC filing states. United Board of Directors eventually informed Sheikh Jassim he must provide sufficient evidence of the financing and customary financing commitment papers if negotiations were to continue. Sheikh Jassim never provided the required guarantees and eventually withdrew from the process on the 15th of October. By then, Ratcliffe had abandoned plans for a complete takeover in favor of acquiring a minority stake in a deal that valued both Class A and B shares at $33 per share. The £1.3 billion deal also included the commitment of £237 million in additional investment into the club. Significantly, according to SEC filings, the Ineos boss provided updated financing commitment letters to support throughout the process. Folks, this is the secret why the Glazers did not sell Manchester United to Sheikh Jassim. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more sports stories and news.